Hello everyone, let's finally talk about the new content we have in Princess Connect, and that is the new 5-star EX weapons, and what some people, including me, were a little bit worried about. But I think, for now, these weapons are fine, and they're not really that bad of a thing to have in the game. So let's very quickly talk about them. So how different are the 5-star weapons from the 4-star weapons? So one of the differences are their effect. As you can see from these ones I have over here, these swords, their effect usually is just increase on one of the stats. Here is, for example, it's physical defense for 5% for 24 seconds. On this one, for example, is 3% physical attack for the whole battle. And over here, I guess, we get some physical critical rate for 45 seconds. All of them increase one of your stats, basically. But for 5-star weapons are a little bit different. They actually increase 2 of your stats. So they have that going for them over the 4-star weapons. And of course, the 4-star weapons, as you guys know, they can be leveled up over here on the Refine button. And they can also be limit broken, which are those 2 pink thingies, squares, I guess. Yeah, sure, let's call them squares for now. But yeah, they can get limit broken. Yeah, as you can see over here, you can just limit break the weapon. And that way they can be leveled up even further beyond the 3 first squares over here. As for 5-star weapons, they cannot be leveled up, but they can get some random substats. And now let's actually talk about these substats and how to actually get them. So to get these substats, of course, you'll have to go over here on the menu, where we have this new button called the Ultimate Synthesis, which will bring us over to this menu, which is a very cute place with the new guild. They sometimes have some mini stories and whatnot, and they can give you some points. We'll talk about the points in a little bit. But yeah, it's a really cozy place. I like it quite a bit, and I also like the music. But in any case, we click the cauldron over here, and we choose one of our 5-star weapons. So to get substats on each weapon, we'll have to go over here, and we will be using 2 things to give substats to a weapon. Those 2 things are the EX Equipment Synthesis Points, I guess that's the name. That's a really long name. And we'll use some mana. I really thought we'd be using way more mana than this, but we don't really need that much mana, so don't worry about it. As for the EX points, we can get them in 2 different ways. By farming in the new stage, the new content we have right now in the game, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And the other way is over here on the conversion button. Over on this button, we can actually convert some equipment that we don't want. As you can see, if we select one, we get 10 points. Trust me, that's basically nothing. But if we use one of the grow spheres we have, we actually get, wait a second, I didn't actually select it. We actually get 20,000 points, which is quite a bit. I highly recommend you guys to just spend all of your old groceries, because now they will not be useful anymore. They are completely pointless to hoard them, to be honest. So don't worry, it's fine. You can just use them like this and get all the points that you want, or that you can get anyway. In any case, now we have 275,000 points, which we can use to give substats to the weapon, just like I mentioned before. So let's use this weapon for now, and let's see what we can actually get. Yes. So as you can see, it changed the substats from these ones that I had to these ones that I now have. And goddamn, holy shit. These were actually some pretty good ones. And after getting the substats, we have 2 buttons. This confirm button and the discard button. The discard button will just give the substats, the old substats to the weapon. But if you choose to confirm, you'll keep the new substats. For now, I will be keeping these substats because goddamn, I actually got incredibly lucky. Another thing you might notice, these substats actually have a lock on them that you can actually click. Basically, if you lock a substat, and you decide to get some more substats, the locked substats will not change. That way you can actually keep the substats that you like and try getting some other good ones. And of course it will become even more expensive according to the number of substats you have locked. So over here it would be 20,000 points with just 1 substat locked. But if I unlocked it, it would just be 1,000. And you can see it will just increase if I lock even more substats. But for now, let's lock these because they're all very, very good. Also, I'd like to note, the substat that you get will have a random number inside a certain range. So if you click this button, you can actually check that range. So for example, if you get HP, it will be a random value between 0.5 and 2.5. And it's the same thing for all the other substats. Also, since this is a physical attack weapon, we will not get any magical damage. So the only kind of damage we can get is the physical attack, and physical defense penetration, and of course physical critical. And depending on how high the value is, it will change colors. You don't really need to memorize the colors, but if I remember correctly, pink is the highest color. So over here, for example, if I had the maximum amount of defense penetration, it would show up as a pink. I think I have, yeah, I even have over here this one. It's not really pink, it's more like purple, but that means it's the highest one. I think red is the second to highest. And I think, yeah, I think yellow is the third highest. That's basically it. I think there's also green, and then there's like just black, which is no color, I guess. Now you might be wondering, what is this defense penetration? This is a new stat, and basically it increases your damage according to the enemy's defense stat. So if the enemy has more defense, you will deal more damage. So you might be wondering, what are the best substats to actually get on one weapon? So apparently, the best substat to get on any attacking weapon would be the defense penetration. Defense penetration will give you way more damage than actually getting the physical attack stat. It's just because of the formula, the damage formula, really. And that's really everything you need to know about the substat. Also, a little funny thing I would like to note. The animation over here when you synthesize a weapon can actually change depending on how high a stat actually is. As you can just see, the animation was normal, but there is a chance the animation will change. It will just be like rainbows and whatnot. It's quite nice. Now let's talk about how to actually get these weapons. There are two main ways to get these weapons. The first one, and really the main one, is over here on the shop. We have this new shop, and we can buy these weapons with these new coins that we have. And how do we get these new coins? The new coins are over here on the new game mode. And on this new game mode, we have two buttons that honestly look kind of out of place. But on the left one, it consisted of 8 bosses. You have to beat them, all of them, like just once. You don't need to beat them multiple times, but you just need to beat all of them once. And once you beat them, every day, this chest will be filled with, I guess, some points and some coins. And you might also have a chance to get this new item, which I forgot to talk about, but I'll talk about a little bit later. So be sure to actually beat all of them. That way you can get the most amount of points as possible. If you are having trouble, I'll show on screen an image of multiple teams that can actually beat each boss, and that way it might be easier for you guys. And over here on the right, these are just 2 bosses. These bosses reset weekly, but you have to beat them 3 times, as you can see over here. And after you beat them, you will get some coins, the ones I was talking about. You get 200 of these coins, and by beating them on the first time, you get 475 coins, which is quite nice. And of course, you also get some points by beating them for the first time. And just like I mentioned, these are a weekly thing, so they will reset every week. So yeah, and that's basically how you get the points you need to get the substats, and how you get the coins you need to buy the actual weapons. Oh, also I forgot to mention over here, if you beat the bosses, you will get a weapon, which is not said over here, but you do get 1 weapon. It's how I got my weapons. I didn't buy any of them, and I got all of them from these bosses. So I'm guessing after every week, we can actually get weapons for free without actually spending any money, or any coins, I mean. Also, a thing I forgot to mention are these alchemy spheres over here. I don't have any of them, that's why the button is gray, but if you go over here on the tips, it's the last image. As you can see, these spheres are used to maximize one of your stats. So for example, over here, the HP would go from 1.5 to 2.5. So you would need multiple of them to actually get the stat to its max value. And that's basically everything about the new 5-star weapons in the new game mode. It's not really that complicated, it's not too bad. I really thought this new stuff would be pretty bad, but granted, the substat kind of stuff isn't too time-consuming. It's not too frustrating. It's honestly kind of fine. It's way better than some other games. So you don't really need to worry about it too much. Also, this doesn't really affect that many important things. This doesn't affect clan battle, and only really affects the dungeons, the bosses and events, the main quest. And really, honestly, the worst part about this is affecting the elemental towers. Because if they do make more stages for the elemental towers, and they make them with these equipment into account, that might be a little bit bad. Just a little bit. But for now, since that is not the case, these equipment are really not that much of a problem. So don't worry about it, it's completely fine. In any case, that's been it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this was helpful for you guys. As always, thank you so much to my memberships, and I'll see you guys in the next video.